So, are you ready to blow away our audience? What are we talking about today?
So we're gonna do simplify and complexify, which is kind of like story of my life. So we have this space over here, and what we're gonna do first, I'm gonna show you a little bit of the concept that I will talk about to illustrate the points of what I mean when I say simplify and complexify. These are bullet points, something that is I feel has been passed on to me through many years of experience and many friends who have shared this knowledge to me. And I want to give it to you, these bullet points about standard. First, a standard of when you think that photograph that you're looking for is done. And just like a good set of standards that we can look after. And then second, I talk about this idea of simplifying and complexifying and how we can approach a scene, a portrait, or any type of photography that you are doing, even if it's landscape, how to tell the story in 3 moments all the time by simplifying and then complexifying. So you fully explore all the possibilities that you might have.
Wow, so it's a 3D approach. We are going to deeper and outer on the topic. That's fantastic.
Yep.
So I let you do your magic with our beautiful model, Catherine, and see you later to talk about branding,
Yes,
right?
yes, please. I'm really looking forward for that. I need that.
Thank you, Mauricio. Let's roll on you.
Okay, so guys, I'm gonna go back to my screen right now. I will ask my friends from IT if we're looking at my screen. So, are we looking at my screen, guys?
Estoy buscando una palabra en el umbral de tu misterio. ¿Quién fuera Alibaba? ¿Quién fuera el mítico Sinbad? ¿Quién fuera un poderoso sortilegio? ¿Quién fuera encantador? Estoy buscando una escafandra al pie del mar de los delirios. ¿Quién fuera Yacusto? ¿Quién fuera Nemo el capitán? ¿Quién fuera el batiscafo de tu abismo? ¿Quién fuera explorador? Corazón, corazón oscuro. Corazón, corazón con muros. Corazón que se esconde. Corazón que está donde. Corazón, corazón en fuga, herido de dudas de amor. Estoy buscando melodías para tener como llamarte. ¿Quién fuera Ruiseñor? ¿Quién fuera Lennon y McCartney? Sin duda Violeta Chico Buarque. ¿Quién fuera tu trovador? Corazón, corazón oscuro.
Only this.
Corazón,
Yeah.
corazón con muros.
Later, me. But right now it's only my screen.
Que se esconde, corazón, que está donde, corazón, corazón en fuga, herido de dudas de amor.
Okay, so that's a little introduction of how through my career I have used these tools that I'm about to talk to you about. So this is kind of like a little of introduction of the body of my work, and I will tell you right now how this, what are one of the main bullet points that I was looking for, and how my thought process goes before I go into start taking the picture, before I even grab the camera, before all that. I have this mantra that I have to like go through before I do anything to make the best decision for the best occasion. But let me start with these standards. Can we go back to my screen? So let's talk about like when a photograph is done, you know? So a perfect, clean composition conveyed an idea and efficient as possible, right? Motion is present in your subject or composition to give the photo energy. An emotional component must be present. And a moment laced with mystery and ambiguity is the punctuation mark that completes your photograph. So that's kind of like a standard point that I always look for, right? Now, let's talk about simplify and complexify, okay? What I mean by that is the beginning photographer must learn to simplify, okay? We'll simplify. And then I'm going to show you guys exactly here, after showing you a little bit more examples of what I'm talking about, the execution of what I mean by that, okay? And then we have advanced photograph challenge themselves with Complexify. Okay, so it's like, you know, because what you're really looking for at the end is layers of everything, of feelings, of ideas, of concepts. It doesn't have to be a complex image, maybe in terms of imagery, but it is complex just because the process that it came down to before you accomplished it. Your goal is multidimensional photograph that reveal the story and the character of your subject, and hopefully something iconic that transcends this particular wedding. Use the knowledge you have gained to make well-informed photos. You know, because remember, we are, for the photography media, it's a language. So what we're trying to do really is say something. So the more eloquent we are, if that's how you would like to speak about it, you use it. If you want to be more direct and more pragmatic about it, then you do it. If you want to be more poetic, you do it. So whatever it is you're doing as a photographer, that's your approach, but you're always communicating something. You're always speaking about something. So this is the mantra that I'm talking about. If we can go back a little bit into my screen on the computer, I want to tell you about this part, about what this photo is about. So, for example, in a wedding day, you know, I have the option to go to a hill, and I think about and ask myself, what is this photograph about? Is this photo about a silhouette? Is a photo about a car? Is this photo about them in an abstract space? Is this photo maybe they invest time and effort on everything they're doing, so therefore they put the car together, they put the hill together. Does that make sense to include it as well? So let's have everything, and let's don't abstract them from the picture by making them just a silhouette and have them showing some affection. So by doing this, it takes like a little bit 2 steps back, you know, move the camera a little bit up, recompose, change the exposure pretty quick, and then you get it, right? So same here. When I approach something, I like to go really, really close, and then go back far away, and then change my dynamic range change my range with the lenses that I have, right? And then tweak it a little bit, meaning like add something, like go more complex. So you can see how this evolution goes from something very simple and close to show feeling, to show body language, you know, to show something different. Now, same thing here. You know, when I approach a situation, I show up, I try to absorb the space. I try to look around and see all the different variations. And then I start simplifying by pretty much eliminating any other factor that is around the subject and focusing in exactly what they're doing and how they feel about what they're doing. Now, I start coming back and adding more and more elements because I realized this photo is about everything. This photo it wasn't just about her, it's about their friends and everybody together, okay? So that's kind of the idea of that I'm going through. Like when I ask myself, what is this photograph about? I respond, okay, if this photo is about them, then I will add a flash, right? Because it's like, okay, everything is kind of messy. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna use a flash, I'm gonna burn everything, it's gonna go black, and now I'm gonna just focus on my subject. But then I wanna show where my subject is, so I show context, you know? And then I think, okay, this photo is about her doing that there. But then I see a character, you know? And then when I see this character inside the movie that's happening, say like, well, she's very interesting. And because I understand, I know the relationship between everybody there, so I focus on the characters around it. And then I keep moving around and looking for the best light, the best composition, but also the best expressions. And I'm not directing, I'm not like telling people what to do, I'm just there, present, observing, and really taking in all the different scenes that can be happening, right? The World Cup was happening there, etc. You can go back far, get more abstract. I will show you today how to do reflections, since we can really go out because it's snowing, it's very, very, very cold. But we're gonna do and trying to use the reflections that I use usually to get the outside inside, you know? And at the end, my approach come back to be more about what this photo is about. So this photo was really about these two, you know, these two characters in the story. Same here, you know, we're talking about getting ready. We're talking about like where she is, how she feels, who she's with. Another concept, another bullet point concept that something that really I have learned through years of going around is exploring an idea that might sound abstract and might look impossible, and then after that, applying it to the photograph world. So I see the similarities, for example, of this concept to a photograph from Alex Webb that he made, you know, this beautiful photograph, and it has the same type of three-dimensional imagery, which I'm always looking for. I like this type of photography. And then I take this idea, this concept, and translate it in this type of photograph that I have. I don't know if you can look, if you're looking at the screen of my computer, you know, like how do you go from this abstraction, you see a real life example of a concept applying into the photography world, and then I would take it and use it on my, so today also I'm gonna give you guys an example, like a live example of how to make this type of photograph, which is it's just a reflection. But when you look and see shapes and forms and shadows and use all these lines, you know, it helps you to create this imagery, this idea in your mind, right? Something that I look for all the time in composition is how I can see lines. I look for lines everywhere. I follow them. And then I look for reflections everywhere. I follow them. So because I like three-dimensional photograph. I don't like photographs that are just flat. So I like to feel that I like to make you wonder and wonder myself about how they're doing. And it's keep me hunting, because as an event photographer, as a photographer who has like a fascinating, you know, fascination for photojournalism and street photography, I like to look after things and trying to hunt these things and trying to get it, you know. Another concept, from this other photographer from Magnum, she has this amazing concept. If you can look at the screen of my, it's about one picture inside one picture inside one picture. So what I mean by this is like we have one frame that is a moment and something that is happening, and inside that as well, there's something happening there. Same here, like you can see me there photographing this moment, but at the same time she is in the reflection, but then her mom and her sister is there, and then her auntie is there, and everybody's there. So I use this type of you know, infinite loop of moments and geometry to frame and frame and frame. Another concept that I think that I found it was very useful to many of my students through the years was this idea of you know, reality itself could be we know this modern era, it can be bent, right? You know, like if you cover the middle of this, you realize this whole image in the middle is gray. It's it's not white or light gray. It's all gray. You have the same color, but it's perspective. So when you get sometimes very, very close to something, or very you change perspective, and you enter into a different world. Like literally, like it's a different world. Like if you really see this really, really closely, and it takes you to experiment. Like for example, imagery. You have different type of imagery here, and then you have imagery here. So this is type of imagery that iconography that you use when you identify when you're there. You don't have to really change anything; just recognize it and know that it is there. If you go back to my screen as well, I would like to show you a little bit of like my movements, my thought process. So in the wedding day, like I'm saying, like I'm trying to simplify and complexify, but this is also I'm thinking, okay, what is this photograph about? And I will take usually the simple, more straight photo that I know is gonna work no matter what, but then that one is not gonna take so much time. So I have enough time to play a little bit. And then I go back and out, and then look for and wait for it, and then something happen, right? And then I capture that and things keep moving. Like you notice here, for example, the difference between one photograph and the next one is that one is, already, work on Photoshop in Lightroom, and this one is a RAW file. But it's not like a double exposure or anything like it, which I do as well, but it's not the case. Another way that tip that I will tell you is like many times, you have ideas. So never think this idea is not going to work. You should keep trying. The same idea, the same concept, the same, the same vision that you had one day, and then you will find in another moment, in another occasion, another event, you might be able to execute it. So this was an idea that I did with my phone on the beach, and then this happened, right? Then I have this, I don't know if you can see, like this couple of mine were like celebrating, their wedding day in Cabo San Lucas, Mexico, and no, this is Puerto Vallarta, Mexico, and they're the same-sex couple, and they always they wanted to do a photograph like that, and they asked me actually, can you do a photograph like this? And then we talk about it when everybody was on board. And then we went to the beach and we started seeing what is this photo about though? This photo was about them telling me, I want a photograph that is sexy and romantic, So it's sexy and romantic because that's who they are. That represents them. I only work because it's a same-sex couple and they love it. So that's exactly why it makes sense. So many times you have an idea maybe, but if it doesn't make sense, if it doesn't really click, then you should know that it's not the right moment for that type of idea. This is them, like years after, before they had a baby. Another concept something that I use a lot is crystals and lights. Why? Because actually it came to me by watching this photographer in the 70s used to photograph pieces of glass and with weird psychedelic lighting. And the first time that I saw it, I was like, this is like a galaxy. So at the beginning of my career, a lot of my venues were not really amazing, so I was like, well, I can transport them in a different place. I can actually take them to a different dimension if I want to by using this type of. So that's what I did. I get really close and use crystals and lights to take everything that wasn't really, to my taste, pretty, and then focus on what it really was, which are them, Which I'm also going to do it here today. So this was an example. This is an example. We missed sunset time. I tell them, guys, go all the way there, and then I have my second shooter with the phone and say, hey, can you go there and make sure that they walk a little, or that I want to see some movement, something that because they really want to have a sunset photograph, but we missed it. So I love the setup they have there, and then I get really close to one of the slides. Is my second shooter talking with the guys, and I say, guys, okay, go there, have a kiss, and it was okay, but it wasn't really what I was looking for, and say okay, now walk, and then they did. So that's the final photograph, right? So I would try to do something like this as well, and I'm shooting like literally through that thing. And then that's through the light, right? So if this is like about believing pretty much that this is going to happen, because you don't have 100% sure of that. And then to finish with the slides with the keynote, I'm just going to give you a little example of like how to approach these 2 moments or 3 moments usually, like very close about feeling, medium range, and far away, right? So far away, we show where this happened. Medium range, we show body language, and then far away, very close, is all about feeling. Far away is about the place, the context. Again, feeling, context, body language, more context, more feeling, context, feeling, body language. You go abstract, you get close, you get simple, you move around, you play, you get very, very simple and execute well, wait for the moment. Or you want to get like a little bit of both, you want to get a real feeling, but at the same time, you want to have a little bit of something else to make people wonder. At the end of the day, I feel like the most beautiful photograph are the photograph that express feeling, that move you. Like if the photograph can move you, it's doing his job. That's what we want to do. We want to see a picture to make you feel something. Whatever it is, it makes you feel something. Okay, that was like I'm glad that people can actually stop it and go back and look at everything, because I know I went like kind of fast on this, but you have it. You have it there for you guys. So now if you stay with me, we're going to start photographing. This is my beautiful friend and model. So let's see. So we're going to start doing something, again, like I was saying, something simple, right? Something close. So let me toss this there. Perfect. Awesome. So I'm going to use, let's see, no light. What about that? Okay. So we have this light. Can we turn off the light? No? Okay. So, and then we have this, this window light. Okay, perfect. Perfect. So let's start with that. Something simple. Something that's perfect. So on window light, first of all, I have to think about this. I have to think about, okay, so what lens I will use, right? So I love the 50, millimeters, and the 85 as well. 35 I don't think is great for portraits. So what I'm going to use right now, I'm gonna switch to the 70-200, right? And perfect, thank you very much. 70-200, and I'm going to have some fun playing with the tilt shift lens, right? So when I see window light, I think about this, couple of things, right? First of all, you have one direction. So you have a couple options, or you come this way, you have backlighted here, which is, if it was strong enough, we can blow it out. Or, we have it on the side. This is very soft, very pretty, Or we have it from here, like right straight forward, which is gonna give you a gradient of, it's gonna start like a very obvious, and then it's gonna go all the way back, right? Perfect. So let's that's perfect. No, I think that's perfect. So, and I don't have, since you're doing portraits, you have the benefit of time. And let me see. Perfect. In terms of setting, that's something that I always, some people asked me last time we were doing this. Well, I usually shoot in an automatic white balance. And then when I have the flash on, I shoot with the flash balance for the color, right? Perfect. So this is something that let me tell you guys, it's kind of cheating to photograph somebody that is so pretty because obviously all the photos are gonna look pretty because she is. Okay, perfect. So what I do is just focus on the highlights, right? focus on the highlights and make something very simple, very nice, no blow up at all. So let's start simplifying. I turn off the lights of everything, so I have only one direction, right? Come a little bit this way, perfect. Right, like that, perfect, awesome. Okay, so I'm just photographing her face, So when I photograph the face, I'm thinking about, the features, the gestures and the shadows. Since we have this dramatic lighting, you have to be careful with the shadows. The closer you are, to the light, you're gonna see a little bit more of it, of the definition of the shadows. The far away is more diffuse, right? But she had really a very, very, let's say, perfect structure, so it's not really hard. Now, can you chin down? Perfect. Chin down a little bit more, and go back to me like that. Thank you. Perfect. So this is just for you guys. This is how I start. I literally start with the most simple and beautiful. If I'm photographing a bride, you want to make sure that you have this beauty shot. You want to make sure that you get that. Even if you see photos that I have that look really crazy or they look very different, I still do these photos because remember, it's not about me, it's about them. And every girl wants to look beautiful, right? Right? Okay, perfect. So I'm going to move back a little bit. And what I'm going to use now is my 7200. Okay, and then just stay there. That's perfect. One step back. And then I just want to see medium range, right? You guys can see how beautiful everything is right here. So I'm just going to close on her. Perfect. The light is phenomenal. And then what I'm going to ask you is to just hug yourself. Just give yourself a hug. Just give yourself a hug. Perfect. Perfect. And instead, come back to me a little bit. Perfect. Awesome. And eyes on me. Perfect. And then your nose a little bit towards the window. Amazing. Perfect. So this is just beautiful. And the only thing you're doing really is focusing on the highlights, right? Now, can you lean forward a little bit? Perfect. Awesome. Now, I always look at the background. So I move also based on no, you stay there, it's perfect. So if I move, then the light's going to be more and more dramatic. There's going to be, right now it's a point really where the sky is matching almost the light that she has on herself. So I'm going to see, if I can, let's finish this part. So right now, you look out a little bit. Perfect. So you can see how sharp is getting the shadows as I move, on the other side. So I just keep moving a little bit back, and then can you, from that, go back to your shoulder like this? Perfect, awesome. And then come back to me a little bit slowly, and chin down, and then that's perfect. No, that's perfect. Go back. Ah! And then look out. Look, there's something outside. Look outside. Okay. It's okay. You can smile. It's fine. And then give me one of this. Perfect. And look the other one. Perfect. Awesome. Beautiful. Yeah. Perfect. Awesome. Stay there. So now in the same. Now we have that type of light, right? Now we're gonna have the second type of light here, right? Where you're gonna have it. And right now every light is affecting everything. So now let's make something. Let's tweak something pretty quick. Okay, let's add something to it very, very easily. Okay, let's see what we got here. I always have something around me here. Okay, so now I'm gonna shoot with a 35. Why? Because now this photograph, now we did very close. Now we did medium range. Now I'm gonna do far away, right? So since I don't have a lot of really space to play with, I use a 35 millimeter lens, right? And then this is actually a cover from an album of graphic. So this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna use this space here. Awesome. Perfect. And let me check. Always looking out. Perfect. Perfect. And then I will share with you guys tomorrow all the settings that I have here, and you will be able to see the final photograph, and you're gonna do the post-processing with you guys. So you will see this. So what I'm doing right now is just adding elements of composition, right? So I will try to use this one. Let's come back a little bit this way over here, and then come over here. Perfect. Awesome. So what about if we can, even when this light is very dim, you know, it's very, 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 very dim right now. But I will take a wild guess and trying to use some motion. You know, I wanna see something moving. You know, I wanna see some more motion here. Perfect. Awesome. And again, I haven't really used anything that is not natural light yet. Okay? Let's see if I can turn this bad boy off. Can we? Okay. Perfect. Okay. Yeah. So it will be like very, very dim. We have little light. Okay? But it's gonna be very dramatic. And I think this light actually is getting blue, which I love, honestly. And this is what I'm gonna do. Just hang with me, guys. Hang out with me, guys. Can you help me to move this? Yeah. Let's move it. Come here. All the way here. Perfect. Awesome. Okay. Okay, now. Yes, I love this now. Okay, now that's your stage, okay? Perfect. It's beautiful. So a little bit one step back. Perfect. And then I want you to feel free to play with the window. And then I want you to throw this out. Throw this out. Is that okay? Okay, perfect. Okay, 1, 2, 3, and then I want you to go like all the way up. 1, 2, 3, and okay, that's beautiful. Let's do it one more time. 1, 2, 3, and now I want you to. What about this? Let's try one of this. What about if you're here, you know, and then you go up like that.
Okay.
Okay, let's do that. Perfect. You're doing great. Don't worry about it, okay? It's just me. It's just me. Okay, 3, 2, 1, and what about if you let it go? Just actually throw it out. Like, don't worry about it. 3, 2, 1, and then just leave it. Don't hold it with your hand. Just put it all the way up on the window. Okay, 3, 2, 1, go. How do you say in Italian that you throw it out, like don't hold it from the hand?
Lancialo.
Like lancialo. So, yeah. Do. 3, 2, 1, and you go. Perfect. Okay, and then I just gonna add. Now I'm gonna start like adding more elements to make my life a little bit more complicated, like last time did. We're still on the ambient light, okay? We're still on the light that is not a natural light, but we're gonna add some artificial lighting, right here. So this is like, for example, if you are in a venue, you know, and then you have this lights, it will be Christmas lights, or will be something that similar to that. Let me get, this is, I don't call, it's artificial lighting, you know, but it's not flash. So it's like available light, something that you can find. So what I love is the type of textures and colors that I want to get out of this, right? So I shoot this very wide open. I usually shoot it like at 1.4, 1.2, 2.8 to be safe, you know, but it's really risky all the time. That's why I also photograph quite a bit, you know. And this is gonna give me a lot of good material as well for tomorrow, where we're gonna have this. So come back here, perfect. Beautiful, amazing. You're doing great, you're doing great. Thank you. So remember, we are in the making my life a little bit complicated, right? Remember that part? Okay, so I'm gonna add more elements to make my life a little bit more complicated, right? So why not? Okay. Okay, perfect. So what happens usually is that I'm constructing, I'm constructing a mess, but I'm balancing all this mess with symmetry by reflecting this in two ways. You can kind of see what I'm going with this. So at the beginning, when I started experimenting with this stuff, you know, it was just like, oh, many things happening, everything at the same time. But now I really want to shape light to the point where I know exactly, you know, how this look like, right? Okay. Thank you very much. This is cheating because she's so beautiful. It's hard to don't shoot her. Oh my God. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Usually you don't want to shoot down, by the way, right? Like you don't want to shoot down. The reason also I'm taking the risk to shooting like down up is because, well, her features are pretty perfect, you know, the chin, you don't have a chin or anything like that. And also because the light that I have over here is making sure that we have a strong shadow line under her chin. So that makes it just easy. So let's see. So let's see. I imagine something like that. Like if we go, and then we go like this, okay. And then we play that, and then you can like, I know, you're like a fairy, you know, like you're like a maid fairy, so you can just like, you know, be a fairy. This is like a fantasy type of photograph. Like this is like a you know, totally surreal type of photography. Okay, let's do it. Okay, 3, 2, 1. Beautiful. Can you do one step back for me? One more step back, for like far from me? There we go, perfect. Okay, okie dokie. 3, 2, 1, and so once I move quite a bit, and then what I'm doing with my motions is find the perfect composition. So the way I photograph is by making a lot of mistakes, a lot of them, and be happy about it. Because once I find this mistake that I really like, I get to explore it, to dig into that mistake, and to see exactly why this mistake is so interesting to look at it, right? It's become fascinating. So I get so much out of my experiment, you know. Okay, 1, 2, 3, go. Do you mind, like, there we go. And this time just really go all the way up. And let it go. And you throw it out. 3, 2, 1, go. And perfect. Good. And then with the same type of lighting, I just want to use this. Okay, perfect. No, I think I got that one, by the way. It's pretty cool. Now I wanna make you suffer for a little bit, because I told her that I'm gonna open the window for like 2 seconds, okay? But it's gonna be cool. It's gonna be good. It's gonna be good. So I'm sorry. Okay. Okay, let's see. Yes, exactly. Just cover yourself right now. Okay, come here. Okay. So you come over here, all the way here. I'm gonna put the light on you. Perfect. Awesome. That's, and remember, so I think I talked about this last time, guys, but you know, when you have clock, the clock is 12, you know, then she is, you know, you have 12, I'm 6, my light is right now 9, you know, could be 3, could be 10, could be, you know, 352 or whatever. So it's a good way for you to communicate with your second shooter, or the person that is helping you as well. And at the same time, I think it's a good way to position the light so you know exactly how this is gonna go. Okay. So, awesome, I like it. Looking cool. Okay. I mean, you always look cool, but you know what I mean. Okay, so always with the 35, you know, because we're looking for composition right now, okay, guys? So here you go. We just change the whole thing going on here. And we're gonna open this. So sorry. Don't hate me. But, I mean, come on, this is gorgeous outside. It's just gorgeous outside. Damn. Okay. So let me check here how this look like. Ooh. So now when you're shooting reflections, right? Like I'm reflecting her in that mirror there is over here, right? And then at the same time, I'm reflecting what is behind me, which is, it could be the moon, it could be the sky. Now she has more light. The power of light that she has on her is way too powerful versus the sky, right? So what I'm gonna do now is gonna go down on this and make also this side the blue side, which is like the blue light has a very high energy, but at the same time it could be like a downer, right? Blue light also is not good for your eyes, guys. If you spend too much time on the phone, not a good idea. But a warm light, you know, when you think about colors, I think about warm, I think about something yummy, something that you know, you want to see something that is right, is warm, right? So, okay, now I might need you to come this way over here. Perfect, awesome. You're doing great. You're not cold right now, are you? A little bit. Okay, we're gonna hurry up, guys. We will. It's gonna happen. So now again, the cool thing about this is that I have. Okay, guys. So now Lisa is there. David is there. This is a tricky thing always with the reflections. Like there's so many things going on, you know. Perfect. Look at that. We have light outside the castle. That's pretty cool. What? Who did that? I don't know who turned on the lights, but that's genius. Thank you. Amazing. Love it. Okay, now she still like have a lot of like too much light maybe on her, because if I really want to have that sky like pop up, the light has to be more dim, you know, for her to. Let me get it. Okay, yeah, now it's softer, right? Perfect. And still have this, gonna just put it back to make it a little bit softer. It's gonna speed a little bit more, but that's okay. And you can do this. So you, okay. You're almost there, guys, almost there. And then I'm gonna shoot the same thing that I'm photographing right now, but now with my other lens as well, with the 7200. So by quickly changing the two lenses, you get a totally different point of view with the same composition. And like if you had 10 minutes to make photos, you know, with the couple, you go outside, you test the light, you make sure everything is fine, and then you call them, and then boom, photo is done. Such a beautiful day. Okay, 3, 2, 1, and then I want you to take a deep breath, okay? and then look up and towards the yellow light. Perfect. Awesome. Awesome. Thank you, thank you. And everything that, remember, reflections is like, this is a transparency, right? Now, if you put something behind it, you can see it, right? Come here, whoever is on that. Right, so look for her. You see it, right? Why? You see her, right? I think it's there. Yeah, there she is. Right, you see her because, you know, the background is actually darker, right? So you see all this multiple, actually this is a cool composition with the silhouette of it. Okay, never mind. Okay, okay, let's don't get distracted. Okay, guys, so, and I think we can get the moon. The moon is already out, and it looks pretty cool. Can you look at the moon and try to touch the moon? And also, because I'm going with a really low shutter speed at this point, I'm going to move it. I'm going to move this plexiglass for reflection. And then when I move it, what it's going to create is going to create like a motion blur. Can you move the hand all the way up, like if you're actually going to touch something this way? Perfect. And then just dance a little bit for me, right there. Beautiful. Beautiful. I love it. Thank you. And like I say, I'm not going to die. Don't worry about it. We got it. Shoot it with the 70-200. It's going to be actually on side of 70. Cool. Okay. And let's see if we can find her beautiful Luna. Oh, look at the moon right there. Perfect. And it's not here. Perfect. Okay. 3, 2, 1, and and 3, 2, 1. Amazing. Got it. And one more time. Last one. 3, 2, 1, and go up. Up, up, up. Perfect. And that's it. That's it. Okay. Awesome. Woo! We got that. I promise I'm going to close the window now. Yeah, don't worry about it. Okay, let's close the window. It's cold, guys. Okay. And for the last trick of the night. Okay, so for this last one that I'm going to do, what I'm going to do is complicate my life a little bit more, okay? If you guys want to know more about it, I will explain a little bit more of every step that I'm making tomorrow. Tomorrow you're going to have the photograph, you're going to see what I'm doing, and you're going to see the post-processing. So every part of it. And then I'm going to switch this to the 35. Okay, and I'm gonna do some light painting with a long exposure. You like that? No multiple exposures for today. I did last time. You can also still watch the videos of the last view when I did a multiple exposure. So for this one, what we need to do is to, sorry, I give you my back. So we're gonna use a tripod. So first of all, let's come over here. Okay, you guys can look at her. So because I have no light on me really right now. So I have a tripod set up here, right? She's looking amazing. Thank you, thank you. Okay, so now let's frame this thing here. Perfect. Beautiful. Just like, even just like that, I love it. Okay, let me take a couple of pictures of you like that. And then Dave, there we go. Awesome. I love this 3, 2, 1, and You know what? I'm going to do some close-ups because I just cannot do it since it's really, really beautiful. And I'm going to do this close-up and mess it up a little bit with this. So you see this happening also really closely. Now, this is a tilt shift lens. So it's not going to be like everything in focus at the same time. So remember the light, this light is your main light. Perfect. And then the glass absorbs all the light that you're putting in it. So look at me straight. Perfect. Awesome. Perfect. Beautiful. And then this is kind of tricky. Look back to me a little bit straight forward. Like, okay, like transformer. Perfect, awesome. And stay there, and then I'm gonna focus on you. And then I wanna see some sparkle on your eye. So I need maybe you're good to go there. Perfect, perfect, awesome. Perfect, and still 3, 2, and then I'm gonna go up and down and with this. Can you put your right hand up? Diestra, up. This is the Italian, English, Spanish situation going on, by the way, that we have here. So if you don't notice that, we're like, everybody is doing their best, okay? Okay, perfect. And then like, just put your hand like this one here, like this, like that. Perfect. Like that. And maybe you go up. Like that. Oh, like that. There we go. That's pretty. Perfect. And then just look for the sun. Look for the light. Keep looking for it. Looking for it. Okay. Amazing. Go up, 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 up. And then look at me straight. And then turn your face towards the light. Beautiful. Yes, 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 do that, do that, do that. Okay, awesome. Now let's go back to the complicated photograph, right? So it's not that, you know, you gotta do it. When you feel it, when you see it, you gotta do it. So light painting. So we're gonna have probably like 4-second exposure. And then what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna have this young lady twice, right? So we're gonna do, come over here, perfect, perfect. Now, do you feel it's like warm enough now? Okay, so can I have this? Perfect, okay, awesome. So now, you know a silhouette, right? So silhouettes are really backlight, right? So I'm gonna make a silhouette of her and the light paint. I'm gonna paint a silhouette of her, right? And then after that, the flash, or before that, I think, before that, it's gonna be here. So this is kind of like it's gonna go down, right? So you here first, you know, and then it's like you're touching yourself here, and then you're gonna be here later, right? So even actually, yeah. So you just move here, and then do that. You can do that part. You start here, right? And then you move here, and then your other hand here to touch yourself, right? Awesome. Okay. So first of all, the main key light here, right? So it's gonna be probably very sharp. So we're talking about 3 o'clock, right? And even actually a little bit almost behind her. So it's almost like a little bit of some halo lighting type of silhouette that we're creating right now, okay? Okay? Okay. Awesome. Okay, so now, so let's test it, right? So first of all, let's test this boy here. And we have really cool here, perfect. And then we're gonna adjust to 4 seconds. Okay, 4 seconds. Okay, and I think that would be good enough. You see everything in 4 seconds? Perfect. And then because of the motion, the movement that this is going to be all blurred up, right? So what I have to do is have it on on the timer, right? So first we focus on her, right? And then we do the time. So this is the first test, right? This is used for the side. So we do that, okay? So come to, perfect. Okay, so it's the first try, right? Okay, perfect. And now what I'm seeing is it's not gonna come out the way I thought it will, because having that light to that time of the light. Can you help me with this? Let's move it this way. No, this way. This way. Perfect. So by having it this long, it's going to, thank you very much. It's gonna absorb more light. So this is what I'm gonna do now. So I'm gonna change my plan right now, and I'm gonna still do the light painting, right? But I'm going to crop it a little bit more, and it's gonna be more tighter, and it's gonna be about the whole composition, about everything. It's not gonna be just one type of light. Because, I mean, I cannot hide it anymore. Perfect. So this is great. Now, let me turn on the flash here, just to test the light. So, perfect. And then I'm gonna go back to the timer. Perfect. Okay, and then we have 5 seconds still. Okay. Okay, perfect. Awesome. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna have it on the camera, okay? I'm just gonna have it, I'm just gonna have it here on the, I'm gonna do it myself here, okay? So I'm gonna light paint with the flash, I'm gonna light paint with this, okay? Same deal though, exactly same thing we talked about it before, okay? So first, I'm gonna have you, perfect. So at this point, I'm just making something up, like, honestly, this is pure, curiosity and photography. Okay, and just like a kid who have a lot of toys and have time to play with, which I am. So, awesome. Okay, so let's see. Everything's gonna be quite fast, okay? So you will see me doing this type of perform arts. Okay, so remember, you start here, and then you move there, okay? Okay, go back there. I like that. So now, when you're there, I'm gonna do the light behind you. And then, when you're there, I'm gonna do that one, okay? So, okay, so first of all, I'm gonna focus on you, making sure you're sharp. Can you move a little bit to the right for me? My right, sorry. Okay, and perfect. Okay, so a little bit less. Oh, perfect, okay. And remember, you're touching, reaching to yourself. Okay, 1, 2, 3. No. Okay, no, it didn't work out. So let's do it one more time. Let's start with this one, and then I go to this one. Yeah. Okay. No. Go, you start with this one with the flash, and then we go after with this one. Okay. Let's see. Perfect. Then come back here. Come back here. Okay. Let's do it one more time. So I go there, I shoot it, the flash, and then you move here. You move here, and then I do the light. Okay. Let's do it one more time. 3, 2, 1, and go. Come move. Okay. And I think, okay, so this is perfect. I just need you to remember to touch, like reach to for yourself. Okay, come back to the middle again. Perfect. Stay there. 3, 2, 1. Okay, I'm gonna run. I'm gonna do 8 seconds this time, just to make sure we got it. Okay. Okay. So we start with the flash. I'm gonna run there. Okay. I'm gonna shoot the flash. Okay. When I shoot the flash, I want you to have your hand right here, and then you move this way right after that, and then I do the backlighting of that. Okay. And everything's gonna be crazy. Okay. 3, 2, 1, and go, 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 go. Okay. Okay, I like it, but at the beginning you also have to like there. Okay? So at the beginning I want your hand reaching up this side. So no, this side here, come over here, and then your hand, perfect, like that. Perfect. So we start there, and then when you're here, you switch to the next one. Okay, perfect. Okay, last one, guys. Last one, and we're done. Okay, and I can wait for tomorrow to show you guys all this craziness. Okay, 3, 2, 1. Your hand, your hand, your hand. No, go back. Okay, like reach right now for your hand? Yes.
But this?
Yeah. You start here.
Yes.
Like that.
And move my hand.
And you start here with the flash.
Okay.
And then you do the same thing, but with the light. So twice you have to put your hands up and down.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. 3, 2, 1, and go, 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 go. Okay. Okay. Okie dokie. And okay, last one. We almost there. Almost there. Let's do it one more time. Perfect. And then I'm going to do full power here. Perfect. I'm going to go this way here. Perfect. Okay, we're almost there, guys. And almost there. And let's see. Come. Awesome. Yes. Yes. Finally. Oh my God. Let's do one more time. This is the last one though. I promise you. I promise you. I promise you. Okay. Okay. We got it though. We got it. I love it. Okay. Okay. So 3, 2. Remember the hand. Perfect. And then come here. Come here. Come here. Perfect. Okie dokie. And for some reason the light was yellow. Ah. Perfect. Now it's blue. Okay, one more time, just the color of the light change. Okay, 3, 2. Come. Oh my God, I love it. Perfect. We got it. Yes. Oh my God, thank you very much. Okay, guys, let me turn on the light, okay? Woo. Jesus, guys. Luce. Oh my God. Yeah, we did complicate our life, didn't we? So, you know, it's just, and tomorrow I'm gonna like really dissect every part of these photos, you will see all my failures, and you will see all the things. I'm gonna do it I'm just gonna download everything, like the way it is, and then you're gonna see the before and after of my shoot, and you're gonna see exactly like how it's gonna look at the end, okay? And you see like how much post-processing really I do have done in it, and like you notice, you will see it's not that much, but I have presets that really help me. So I have developed this preset for specific type of lightings. These presets that I have done, I make are not really made it like in a lab with an idea and a concept. I made these presets for Lightroom actually trying it out. One and again and again and again, fade and again and again. And this is exactly the result that speed up my workflow, and at the same time, it really has good appealing, and it really goes to different, it's appealing to different trends and different looks at the same time. It's something that you can also easily adjust, and I will show you tomorrow. It's gonna be great, okay? But I think, how much time we have, guys? Do we have time? Tempo. I don't have my 15 minutes? Okay, perfect. You wanna jump in? Yeah. Let me see. So, well, again, thank you very much. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it. So in resume, simplify and complexify. Simplify by taking out all the elements that are not really necessary, like too much light or too many, geometric elements of looking for the background is clean and all that. And then complexify by just actually adding more layers and layers and layers and layers and see how everything goes. Yeah.
Thank you, Mauricio. What I really love about this approach when we were discussing about this concept is that actually you're right. It's like layering the job, right? Yeah. So you can literally take control and scale up or down depending on the creative or the technical conditions. And that's great, because it seems also that in this way we can talk about how the same scene or the same subject can be portrayed in a different way, adding or not elements, and creating a more complex storytelling, a less complex storytelling, depending on your vision on that, and that's amazing.
Yeah, for the record, I try to be very extreme with this demonstration in terms of like how crazy can I go, because I feel like when you see how far things can take it, then you tone it down, and then from everything that you have seen today, that you maybe you can take like a little part of it, like a piece of something, and then add it to your tools that you have already in yourself. So I just got to like go all the way out or crazy and do all this experimental type portraiture, and then you can decide it and take it and say like, well, I like this part. I can tweak it. I can make it better, and I hope you do. So this is type of the way I do it. I just show as much as I can, and then you can take whatever you want.
But it's great because you define a sort of a sandbox, exploring all the possibilities first, and then you define, like you said, what's appropriate. But it's great because it means that you are not just showing up in the spot and start shooting whatever because you know your comfort zone and you know what you're strong at, and they're not gonna nail it. But it's great from a photographic standpoint to explore the possibilities, to dare a little bit, to take it to the extreme. And to that extent, I have to say that your approach is incredible. It's risky each time. Yeah, risky. You know what? Yeah, maybe, but maybe not. It's a sort of let's say planned risk that you take because you know that already. You are familiar with that kind of fringe zone when you have been so many times. But that's why we all love your photography, because you have never been scared to push it and explore new things. Yeah. Which means putting yourself in a position where you never give anything for granted. Yeah. How was it, Catherine? How was it? Did you enjoy the session? Yes. A little bit cold, maybe. By
the way, where's your scarf? We need to.
Okay. So thank you, Catherine, for being here with us today. You know this building because
Yes.
you have been here before, and you know also you're kind of familiar now with Mauricio's approach as well as with Sarah later on. But yeah, we told you this is about photography, and photography is about experimenting, is about exploring.
Yeah, I invite everybody to go back to this idea, this first time when you grab a camera and then you feel like, I love this. Like not because I wanted to post on social media or not because somebody was paying me for it. I just come back to that little curious kid that really wanted to explore and see the world through that, and then want to take a piece of the world and put it in front of everybody else and feel the love. And I'd like to think about, I want to invite you guys and think about, because that's the way I see it, right? So I want to invite you to also experiment this way. Just like go back to the first time that you grabbed the camera and then you feel like, this is awesome, I love it. And this time, if you have time, this is a perfect time to go back to your bases and to rediscover who you are and to show yourself also in that genuine light, that truthful light that I think is, people really resonate with that. Being in the industry or with your clients, people resonate with that point of view that is only yours.
Speaking about that, I'm sure that you remember that when we were recording some of the roundtables that we had, the amazing roundtables, the great time we had with our guests, we were talking, sometimes we were touching this topic, the fact that, pictures actually resonate with yourself and there's something that shines as you there. And you remember when we said, you know what, if you think about photography, if you look at pictures, you can almost define the character, the persona behind the lens, right?
Yeah. Everybody, like I was saying, the photography is really a language that you use. Some people, are more straight to facts. Some other people they're more, their language might be more poetic, or have different imagery, different way to use it and express feelings and ideas. So then we have a photojournalist approach. Then you have, the most abstract or like artistic portraiture, or the most like really feeling-driven type of, for photography that actually right now is very popular. So, you have this different spectrum, all the spectrum that you can play with, all this different type of, and then honestly, I invite you to try it, even if you feel like it's not probably 100% who you are, but try and experiment and open it. Because you know what, when I try to copy what I like, it always come out different, because you just can't help it, So, but you need to try to see, and then you realize that is inspiration, for you to try something, and then it will come out something. Be open to the mistakes, be open to possibilities. Practice though before you do it with your client. But
but the magic word, practice. So remember that theory about talent. What's talent? Mm-hmm. And some successful music players or actors said, talent, do you really want to know what's talent? It's practice, actually. It's 10,000 million hours spent in practicing.
Yes.
And because sometimes we think that, but that football player or that guitar player or that actor, just, just show up and he works because he's gifted. It's not really about that. No. It's more about, working hard.
Yeah.
And you know what? I'm thinking, while you were talking about practicing or trying or exploring, I'm thinking at the beginning, Graphi was actually an advertising agency. But all of a sudden, the three shareholders decided to spend their weekends and their nights in the garage, pushing the limit, try exploring, like you said, even bashing to pieces printers and stuff like that, because technology wasn't ready for that.
Right.
But the ideas were already flourishing and creating visions that actually turned out as a reality 20 years later.
Yeah.
But if you never try, if you never push your limit, if you never got a vision and believe in it. And it doesn't mean that it must be a success. Sometimes it's a failure. But that's great anyway.
I feel like inspiration, hard work, like really like hard work and the dedication, but all that driven and full with love. Because when you have passion for something, you're really good at it and you enjoy it and you keep doing it and you can do it forever and take you to places. You have to take me to a lot of places. So it's just love, really love at the end of the day. Right. Yesterday, I had the opportunity to talk a little bit about what is Simplify and Complexify, right? So the idea of these exercises is to see how far can we go, how much we can push, you know, imagery and different techniques that you can apply. I like always to go as far as I can and then experiment a lot and see exactly through my mistakes and through every step, analyze it later and see what really I can apply in my profession. But that's how I came out like with a lot of the ideas that we're going to be exploring today. So first, let me talk a little bit about workflow. It's so important for us as a photographer to be efficient. Time, you know, is something that we cannot get back. So let me talk a little bit about this. By the way, I love the delay of the screen. So let's talk a little bit about the workflow. So I tend to photograph a lot. I take a lot of photos because I fail a lot. And the reason is because I'm an event photographer mainly, and my approach is trying to capture the perfect moment because I'm not controlling anything. So what I do instead of controlling something, I try to envision what I wanted to happen. So I had an idea, right? I have a concept that I can work with, and then I see the light first, and then I see my subject versus the light and the space. So I have a subject, and then I have the space, and I see usually the composition come after that. And then I make a decision and say, okay, my subject is here. Everything around it is helping me to see what it's doing. The light is the best light for the subject, and then now I start building from that point. So yesterday, that's what I did. You can go back to the photo shoot, and you will see actually me working on that, getting very close, very simple, taking out everything else that it was distracting, even light itself. It was a little bit dark, and then now I start adding step by step, little by little, and complicating everything. So I did complicate my life a lot yesterday. So let's see how everything came out today. So, well, first of all, you know, you download the cards. It's so important to back up. This is the workflow that we use. It's very important also to have a metadata. We use a photo mechanic for this, where we download every photo, take it, and then we name it, in a folder. For example, this one says Castello Ceconi Imagine USA, right? And then I have the Castello Ceconi Live Day 1, and then I have a selection, right? So as I'm importing and ingesting all the photograph, I'm adding description and metadata that will be readable later for WordPress or Google, you know, and all the different outlets that we use online. So it's very important also because here is your copyright, you know, and everything else that your photograph needs to have. Now, let's say we plug it, right? We ingest it, and now we have all the photographs here, right? So, and then we name it, right? So, like you can see here, the name of the photograph. I'm gonna open this a little bit here so you can see all my settings. So, welcome to the dark side of the moon, by the way. This is gonna be everything was very, very dark. And I like to play with that. Is easier also. I was thinking about for you guys to see it, to be able to see exactly what I'm doing as I'm doing it, because it tends to be a little bit like if you see me, you see this guy crazy just jumping around, but then maybe if you see the lights that I'm using and everything at the same time live, so you have an idea of exactly what I'm going for. My post-processing in general is very subtle, believe it or not, but in this time I'm gonna push a little bit more and go out of what I usually will do and just go all the way for the extreme imagery that I can get, because to me is as important the post-processing as well than the taking the photo, right? Once you have a clear vision of the type of colors you like, the type of vibe that you're going for, your brand, and people know you because of that. I remember when I started in the wedding industry, everything was modern vintage. That was the expression people used to use, and then people was to apply a lot of textures on top of the photograph and everything, and use a lot of actions. I remember at the time, Lightroom wasn't really a big thing at the time. And then it was all like desaturated and like almost sepia type of color, stuff like that. Now in Christmas Studios, we like vivid colors. So what we use is our palette of colors is very hyper realistic, I would say. And my personal approach is a little bit super realistic. So and then I use this palette of colors, and now I'm actually in some nostalgia type of feeling, admiring and trying to emulate a little bit of the film look that I like, in black and whites, for example, or colors. So to me, this is plastilina. It's something that I can just totally play with it. Now, before you start playing with all this stuff, I would recommend you, go far, far, far to the extreme and then pull back and see where you feel comfortable. Like I have a set of presets actually that I developed, and I did it through trial and error. And those set of presets that I have for Lightroom are the ones that I always use. Because I know exactly the way I photograph, the type of light I use, how much I push it. So I know when I'm photographing, I'm seeing the end at the beginning. So you have a clear idea where you're gonna go. So with that, and then you know the exposure and the aperture and everything else, you know how much you can push the camera, push all the settings, and then you have a better idea, a better understanding on how far you wanna go with this. So, let's look through pretty quick through the whole take, right? So I go in rounds. So first round, I download the photos, I ingest everything, all the metadata is there, everything is named with a date, a number, and a type of event, right? So we started very simple, right? So, and when I shoot natural light, I just focus on the highlights. So it gives me more drama. So everything, it looks and it feels, more, with more depth. That's how I will describe it, right? The model make everything easy. Sometimes photographing models to me is not what I do. I photograph all, everybody, but I know that everybody's beautiful in their own way. So photographing a model is way easier because obviously, is more, you have more range for angles to play with. Now, I'm not a very technical photographer. I'm more about like the feeling of it. So if I feel like it's good, and then I know that it's good. Now, I'm not a believer that everything could be good just because everything is relative. I actually learn, through strict rules about what a good photo make a good photo, right? At least you need to have good light, good composition. It have to be a moment. I talk about it yesterday as well. So I look at the background. When I want to execute a simple photograph, I look at the background first of all. It's not busy, it's not competing. The light has to be, the light have to be the stencil to sculpt really the photograph at the end. So let's go through the whole take, right? So I'm maintaining the same exposure, you know, just going up and down, and then let her move. So what I'd like to do is ask my subjects to really express something, to move something. So I'm not micromanage the process, but I'm always pointed out, like when I see something, because I don't, my clients, I don't want to make them also feel self-conscious about like if there's something wrong with them. So I'm very subtle. You say like, okay, let's look up a little bit, and just as a tip, as a general rule, be very certain when you talk, because your security is something that they will borrow. They will feel that it's good if you make them feel that it's good, even if it's not really, because you are in that process of trial and error. But in the meantime, you want them to feel that everything is going fine. Okay? So here, for example, is very simple, very easy, and I went from the more side light to a little bit more of an angle to have less of her, still having the frame by having enough light in the background, right? So then I go for the first round, which is gonna be red. So everything that I'm looking at right now, I'm going through, and then I'm gonna click when I see something that I like. It's gonna be red, right? Perfect. So this was the close-ups that we did, right? So then I used 3 different cameras, right? So we're gonna go and look through everything. Now but I wanna start by the close-ups, right? So this is another one that I think we can play with for sure. Very simple, dim light, very dark. Again, perfect. And then we have the other camera here. This was like a test shot that we did. And let me see, let's go through everything. So now you're gonna have an idea of the whole thing, how it went through, right? When I asked for movement, when I asked for, I was telling her, play with the scarf, like throw it up and down, and just do something that you give me some more emotion. I'd go with my clients through some sort of interview process where I know really like the type of personality. So I understand like these people are more sporty, they're more like they want to just stay put and they don't want to move too much. If they really are more outgoing, or they are more more introverts, and if they really need a lot of more direction, they're expecting that, or they just want to be candid and just capturing the moment. So it depends of all these factors, because photography is a human experience, it's a part of like really knowing who you're talking to and really get something out of them. It's kind of interesting that every time that I have photographed here, the team came out with a little bit like a Twilight Zone type of imagery, and I don't know why, but it happens that way. So you have to come to the castle, guys, to check that out for yourself. So let's go, let's see. So I have a total of 690 photos, and the shoot was, how long we shoot for? Like an hour, I think like an hour and a half. And we experiment with 4 compositions pretty much. So I was trying to show you guys a little bit of the reflections, a little bit of the shooting through, a little bit of the type of lightings, how do you do, angles that I might use, and how to like kind of tweak all this. So I'm gonna go a little bit slow down a little bit here, so I give you time to really look at everything, okay? And let me see. So again, we got the safe shot, I'll call it, right? So for example, this is like round number 3. The green ones are the round number 3. That, by the way, you do the color you want, right? So this is the one that I actually like the best of this series, right? And again, this is personal criteria, right? Because it could be any of those really. The reason why I like it at the end is because it match, the whole set at the end. Then this is when I was photographing with the 70-100 through the window and having a mirror here, so she's actually behind me, right? So, and then I was asking her to do some sort of dancing, so I can have more emotion, more motion, right? And then because I was on the window, I had this plexiglass that I found here. The plexiglass actually belongs to to one of the album boxes. So I was like, okay, I don't bring like stuff. I don't have like prismas or stuff that I bring. I actually, when I go to a place, I just look around and it's like, okay, this looks cool. I can do something with that. I put myself in to a point sometimes that it's kind of like a trap, like, and then they figured it out how to solve this problem. And that process is what really takes me to invent something, to create something. If I bring something all the time, probably I will make the same picture all the time. And however, my style is very consistent, but it's because that's who I am. Like regardless of anything, I'm not copying anybody. I make this type up. So that I just cannot do anything else about it, but it is consistent, but the imagery, because I use the same elements, the same type of colors, but at the end, the whole thing change, because it's different person, is different type of personality, and also everything that is around me that I'm using to build up this photograph is different. Okay, let's keep going. And then I just keep looking at every photo and thinking, okay, this work. Okay, and this is the first round, right? So we have the outside, we have the inside, Actually, we have a Graphistudio logo there for some reason. Okay. And this is where the numbers come from. When I say I have like 10,000 photographs, I don't make 10,000 different photographs. What I'm doing is trying to capture that specific moment that it convey everything, the composition, the lighting, and everything come together to help me to convey what I need. So I'm taking the same photo like 20 times. 50 times, it's just taking the same photo, because remember, I'm photographing an event and I had mainly a more photojournalistic approach, so I'm not really controlling the situation and I am on the mercy of the circumstance. So the way you do it, you find your frame, you find the light, and you wait, and then you take the picture, and then you wait, and then that happens, and then it comes to a point where everything comes together and it feels different. At the end of the day, I think it feels different. So this will be my first round, like I say. I like this one. I don't know why, but I like it. So, okay, and then we go far. We did it in 3 times yesterday. So we did very close, we did medium range, and then we did far away. So I did a simple, version of the photograph with the window light, very close, a close-up, half body, and then also I did close-ups, experimenting a little bit more with the tilt shift lens that I have, plus the glass that I also use for the far away photograph that I did. So we have the same subject, but in 3 different times that will speak about. Okay, who this person is, close-ups really talk about feeling, you know, and then the middle range, you know, it speak about body language, you know, because you have hands, you have more things that you're playing with, and then that will speak about more personality, and then far away you talking about the context and who these people are with, and then the interaction and how they move inside or outside that frame, and what is happening around them and where they are, and how beautiful it is. It depends how far you go. So this is what I did here. So I'm going to go a little bit faster here. I think we have a little bit of time to look at it, right? So remember, my idea with the palette of color that I'm using is because these are raw files, by the way. These are all raw files. This is exactly coming from the camera, everything that you're seeing right now. I haven't done anything to it. And then I'm focusing and thinking about the faces, okay? And let me see, okay, perfect. So I got this one. Let me move a little bit faster here. And so I'm looking at what is, when I look at a picture or something, I think about what is the most interesting part of this, right? What is something that will really catch the attention, right? So that's what I'm looking for here. Let me go down here a little bit more, speed up the process here. Okay, I like that one, you know. And let's keep coming back here, always maintaining my palette. Okay, and then I go even closer than that. I think that's nice, you know. And then I think we have a winner, because this one is, you know, you to make a better photo, I feel like you have to or take everything out to the point where you feel like, okay, it's complete, or add something to feel that it's complete. So, but you are always discriminating something and adding something, and constantly trying to reinvent it or fix it or tweak it. Okay, let me see. This was a test shot here. Okay, this was normal lighting, test shot, shooting through. These are glasses, by the way. These are just like these glasses. And I'm shooting literally through the glass. Like I'm shooting actually through it. Something that and it's sharp, like you can see. This is 2.8 in 45 millimeter lens tilt shift. So this is something that I think is part of in my career. I always trying to make something that looks weird or like different, because when I started, I didn't come from any school or have any and nobody told me not to do something. So I just went out and did it and see what happened. So at the end, this is the setup, by the way. I really like this. This is the palette that I love, that I will always use. And when this is why also I did it like that, like so dark yesterday, because if you go back to the video, you will see it actually, how this is there. And then everybody can take this photo, you know, once you see it. But before it was like this, you have to imagine. So if you imagine that and you envision that, you put all the pieces together, and then when you are on the world, you know, in different places, you know, different events or wherever you're photographing, you recognize these things. You are building all the time when you're looking at something. If you look at a lot of photograph or a lot of art in general, you are building a database that you can use all the time. Back in your mind is something that is going to be there. This is like the long exposure shoot that I was doing, trying to replicate her in twice, creating some light painting and having it. So these are outtakes. And let me go back here. And here's still natural light. Let's go back with the natural light here. And then I start saying, okay, let's play. Now we got closer, now we go far, right? So I'm going far back using the available light we have here, but having some motion, something that I always hope to get. And then I think we have a winner here. I think I like that one, okay? So we got 2 rounds. I already went through all this. And let me just go. And then I decided to use artificial light, which are this. And then start playing now. So I'm adding now the glass, right? And then I'm adding also the reflection, right in the middle. So then you see like how I start complicating my life a little bit more, something that I do all the time. And let's see. And okay, coming back. So I have an idea. I have a concept that I don't need I'm looking for. And that's where the numbers of photograph come. And then I say, boom, I like that one. Okay, there you go. And you might say, Mauricio, but what about this one? Or what about that one? Well, I think everything can work, Okay, like that one. But at the end, you need to realize also after you have photos that are good in general, like a photo they say, oh yeah, that works because it's interesting to look at it, etc. But regardless of that, sometimes when you're building a story, a picture might be good enough, but not like exceptional to stand alone. And then you have to think about like, okay, this photo will help to really tell the story even more, or this photo is actually more meaningful, And in this case, we're just playing around. We actually just trying to play with all the possibilities that we have right here. And then I'm taking all the light out using my own light here. Sorry about that. And I think we got one that I like. I'm going to import everything in Lightroom so you will see it, in Lightroom and see what I do. This is the same scene. The one before when I was showing you, that was 70-100. This is 35 millimeter. I'm shooting with 1.4, 35 millimeters, trying to get this double reflection. Remember, there is a mirror here, and then there's a window here, and then there's the plexiglass here, and all this stuff going on. And I'm like a little bit taking everything out because it's dark enough, and adding my own light to make it look the way I want it. Okay, so let's go back here, like that one. And then I realized that it's too dark probably on this side, so I dimmed the light a little bit more, and then I get a little bit more of the sky. So I think that one works. Perfect. Okay. And I have more of the sky over here. Perfect. And there we go. Okay, and yes, I think here, I like that one. Yep, and I think that's it. So we have like 4 photos really. Now I'm gonna take everything out here. We have the red ones, the yellow ones, and the green ones. So now I'm gonna add a little bit more to the yellow. And I'm gonna take this one out, and let's take the red out. So at the end, we have 16 photographs, okay? So this 16 photograph, right, I'm gonna copy this photograph, and I'm gonna send it to here, right? So here is a different folder, but this is the selection. So this is the selection here, and then I'm gonna bring everything into Lightroom. So we open Lightroom, right? I have already everything here. So you can see the before and after, okay? So let's check it out, guys, here. So this is the photo. This is how I started, right? And this is how I finish, okay? So it's very subtle. I just pretty much added my own presets. Now, if we're gonna go and really look exactly what the preset is doing, is I just played with normal exposure, highlights, the black, a little bit of vibrance, but this specific blue, I'm getting it out of here, right? When you play on the version of the calibration, this is where really you can play with this type of blue. That you give you more like film look type of feeling. Okay, so this is the before, and this is the after. Now this photograph worked very well also when you use for black and white. This is perfect for black and white. So I'm going to use one of my presets here. Let's see, we have like that, perfect, and that's it. Okay, so we have this film look, black and white photo. Now this photo now becomes more about her expression in her eyes. This photo is just only speak about drama. Okay, so that's why it's so important, the post-processing. You can make a photo really speak in a totally different tone, totally different way, depending on really what you're looking for. Okay, this is the photo that nobody knows what it means, but it's provocative. Keep the people going. So this is the after, right? And for example, this is something that I personally like, because if you put everything as a story, and something that I will do later actually, and then post it in social media, it will make sense, you know, as a filler. Again, this is let's look at the close-ups here. This is before, and this is right after. And it's only accentuating the colors that are already there. I'm not adding anything to it. I'm just mainly getting the exposure and this beautiful tool that is new and is magical, and I love, and actually taking a lot of the saturation that was already there. Let's look at the close-up. This is the before, and this is the after. So I just fix the white balance and make sure that, you know, that everything else, it was as close as possible to the color of her skin, because in this case color play a role. A lot of pictures, to me, the color doesn't matter because I can change it. You know, I can do anything. It's not about reality. Colors don't exist really to me. But in this case, it's all about the lips, and the lips are red, and I think that speaks about something. So that's why we will respect that, because I feel like that specifically is saying something to me. This is on the other photograph that I was planning on doing a different photograph, but then when I saw it, I was like, yeah, I recognize that. And I did a 1:1 crop, you know, and that's all I did pretty much. It's not that much really. My whole post-processing is always very simple. It's about like recognizing what is important in the image and just help that message across. So it's just taking everything out that it doesn't really add to it, and then keep whatever is speaking to you, and then enhancing the message that you want to convey. This is another version of the same photograph. It's a little bit more polished. Now I'm not doing Photoshop, right? This is just Lightroom. So of course, if you go to Photoshop, I would take the, you know, for example, this out, etc. But it's I'm not a purist, you know, but I try to not manipulate that much the photo afterwards if I can. I am trying to just leave it the way it is, and that pushed me to be more creative in the process of making it. So that way, even if I can go crazy later on Photoshop, refining little things here and there, because I'm not relying on that part. I need to make something, you know, look as good as I can, you know. Do you like this photo? It's okay? Okay. So, and this is the before, right? And this is the after. So for Christmas, my wife and I, we did a photo. Some people were asking, like, well, how do you do this photo? That's why I came with the idea to show you guys how to do this photo. So let me show you the before and the after of this, right? So this, let me show you here. This is before, right? And then this is after. Again, and this one I did a little bit more. I did more burning and more dodging, which is the only other tool that I might use. I just do dodging and burning. And again, it's just respond to the logic. Okay, how to make this photo better now? How can I accentuate the message that is already there? And you can just by highlight the area that you want people to put attention to, and then darker everything else that you don't want to really. It doesn't say anything, not adding anything to the photograph, right? Now this is a personal taste, but I don't like to make everything totally dark. And before I was very perfectionist, like I see it, the little things that are there that it doesn't supposed to be there, I see them. But with the years and the time, I decided to leave it. I decided to leave it because it just feels to me that the beauty of everybody and everything is the fact that also it's not perfect, because life is not, So I just trying to be surrealistic, but at the same time in an ironic way faithful to the idea that nothing is perfect, and that's okay too. Now this is a simple reflection, and it's so easy when you have something to reflect whatever it is, because you have immediately symmetry. So everything, it looks balanced and it just feels right. When you see order in a photograph, and you feel it just send a subconscious message for the viewer. And this is my black and white version. Again, this is just a preset, and what I'm doing here with the preset is actually not converting it in black and white. Something that I like to do is just play with the saturation sometimes, and that allow me also to go and play a little bit more with the temperature instead of only the channels, like the red channel, the blue channel. Okay, let me check this out. This is one of the photographs that we were shooting with the glass, and we're shooting with the reflection at the same time, just building up. This is the before. Oh yeah, this is the before. I was like, oh, this is after? No, oh, this is the after. Okay, this one, it makes a lot of more sense that is black and white to me, because it doesn't. The color at this point is distracting. It's not really adding to it. It's competing with the imagery, competing with the space and the dimension and everything else. Now let's look at this one that I did. This is the before, very dark, and then this is the after. So this one I did a little bit more, right? And then I'd say like, well, but really, Mauricio, you did a lot going on. There's a lot going on here, so I say like, let's get even closer, and abstract everything out of it, and then this is what I would come on to. So this is the motion blur, and at the same time, you can appreciate it here better, and then also at the same time we have the color, we have the motion blur, and then we have the reflection, and you have the foreground, you have the background, and you have the subject. So this is how I like the build up, like going from the most simple things to the more complicated and more abstract, right? And then another version of this photograph that I like is this one, which I feel is more ethereal, it's really, really more ethereal. And like I said before, this theme of gusty feeling is something that you guys have to come to the castle to realize why. And here's the same photograph. Now it's not cropped, just a white version. And I'm not doing anything special. This is the before, this is the after. So I think this one is worthwhile to work it. Like I'm gonna work it from zero, so you see exactly like what I did to this one. Because this one actually I did more than all of them. So I, fix exposure, take a lot of the highlights, and then in here, I'm going to help the highlights over here. There we go. Which allow me to increase exposure without blowing up everything, right? Now you see everything here. So first I start like saying, like, okay, I want to see everything and see how flat we can make it. And then I see, okay, let's accentuate that part, and in these cases, because I'm not thinking about the skin, how perfect the skin is, it is about the whole spectrum. So I'm not afraid to go with clarity and texture. However, if you have a close-up, you gotta be very careful with that. So, and then I want to desaturate this a little bit, and then let's see what we're going to do here on the tone curve. Let's get a little bit more blacks here to have more contrast. And I don't do anything related to the blue usually, but let's see, let's take it down a little bit because because when you add the blacks, all the colors saturated so much. So let's just take it down a little bit. Now on detail, you know, since I'm shooting like a super high ISO, you know, I will always trying to compensate a little bit of that over here. And then we have lens correction. I'm gonna add vignette so that it really catch, you know, people's eyes. The attention is just right there, okay? And then what else we have here? Yeah, the color here. So this is where you get all this interesting, you know, color palette. This is the main difference. Like a lot of times when I see these new presets of, you know, kind of saturate a little bit warm, or film-like photos, and this is how it works. You know, you go in through the process, and this is where you actually change that palette. Yeah, and then you guys, honestly, this is very fun to do, and I feel like everybody should have their own presets. I can show you, or we can show you how to do it later. Okay, and then this is pretty much how it goes. Let me see. They're telling me we have a couple minutes to go, and then I will crop it. Okay, that's it. Okay, here we go. And yeah, and then if I want to go even a little bit more crazy, I would say usually, because I don't know, I'm not looking to print this in a specific way, so this is how it will go. And then take a little bit more of the negative space, always keeping what really is speaking to me, or go by one, and then really abstract absolutely everything else. And that's it. Let's see the next one. Okay, this is the one that I was photographing when I was on the window, and this is the reflection from the outside, and she's inside, right behind me, and this is the after. So this one is like a big, you know, like a different, because I was very, very dark. So what I did here is adding this local adjustment where I'm like getting a lot more out of it, and then also changing the palette of colors right just on that specific area. And now because she's warm, every time that I correct the warm area, it's gonna get so much blue. And sometimes that works, but sometimes it's just way too much. Again, I'm taking everything like the highlights and the whites, and if you notice, this is not a very I mean, at least my point of view, is not very common, you know, because I'm not thinking, and this is the most important part, I feel like, when you think about post-processing. You have to think what is important for you, what is the image, what is the type of look and imagery that you want to project, and just go with that. And if you know exactly that, then you pretty much doing and it's done. If you are wondering, oh, what about if I like this one, but I don't like that, but and playing around so much, then that's time, and then that's money, and that's time that you can spend with, you know, your loved ones. So I think the speeding up this type of process is huge. But the most important part is really knowing where you want to go with this, right? Let me work. This is type of the same scenario. Let me work it here pretty quick for you guys. Okay. And let me apply my preset film. There we go. Which, you know, I think I can send you guys my website so you can actually look at those presets there if you want to. And here we go. And then I'm gonna take out a little bit of this highlights here. Perfect. And so the attention stay with her. and that's it. I'm not doing a dramatic transformation. This is the same images, black and white, and the reason why she is so much brighter here is because this is a channel, black and white here, where I push a lot of more, everything that is on warm, right? So it's more in the red channel. Same here, and perfect. So this one is actually, I love it more. I like it more in black and white because black and white as nature, the nature of black and white is abstract because you see everything in color. So immediately when you take out the color out of the equation, you only start seeing like patterns, like shape and form, and your brain start like trying to recognize what is this in terms of like the human shapes they are there, or the geometric shapes that are familiar to you. So I like black and white a lot because of that, because it helped you feel it and understand it in a more abstract way. Yep. And then after this, I will export it, and then we send it to Graphy and make a print. Okay, but basically this is a summarized version of my post-processing part of it, and it's always the same. It's always about accentuating things. I want you to take away this from seeing this stuff. First of all, the most important part is knowing like who you are and like what you want to do, what's your look. Because if you see these photos and you see this type of look, this type of palette of colors, you recognize this is like a Christmas studio style, because we've been doing this, for a while. So this is something that we've been, recognize, because in people who knows, the photography industry, they know this with like kind of like our palette of colors. And then when you see all these crazy things that you might think is digital manipulation, stuff like that, but you realize, no, this is Mauricio crazy stuff that he's doing, So it's very important to, be yourself, have your personality, don't be afraid, take risk, go all the way back to, explore every one of those, options that you have here, and just tune it down. And then you realize where you feel more comfortable. And then once you have it, systemize this process. And then now that you have a system, you make your presets, and then you know exactly what to do and then where to go with that. And then after that, you can go on Photoshop, and then you can retouch the skin or whatever. But that part is something that I will do for a client that will make a print and is ready for the album. So for at least for the pre-selection before you send anything to print, this is a good workflow that you will speed everything up. And then after that, you go back, the feedback with the client, you know exactly the photograph they're going to be printed, and then you go all the way to Photoshop and make everything beautiful and pretty. Very pretty. Okay. How are we doing with time? Yep. Okay. So, and by the way, I always export everything on sRGB. So let me show you this part. This will be like the last part of the. Okay. So to export it, I usually same size, Adobe, and no resize. Everything else 300, full. Yep, and that's perfect. And then we're good to go.